Today we are in our office breaking down two classic saws. You may own one of these, you may love one of these.
You might be shopping for one of these.
Today we are going to break them down to their bones right here on this desk.
Oof.
We have the Stihl MS 462, a true classic, versus the Husqvarna 372 XP.
Guys, we did a little research.
Just a warning, we are going to pronounce Husqvarna wrong the whole video because we can't deprogram our old school Florida redneck ways.
It's true. But we did look it up, and it is pronounced officially Husqvarna. And that is a very beautiful word. I'm sorry we butchered it.
All these years.
Yeah.
Two respected saws, two favorite saws of the people.
Yeah.
We're going to go through them piece by piece and find out who's the winner today.
Stay tuned. The first thing we're going to talk about is specs and weights. We're going to get into taking these saws apart, into design and ergonomics and specifics. And we're even going to have some footage of them cutting and all kinds of stuff. But for now, we're going to talk, what do they claim on paper? What do the specs say? Displacement, prices, that sort of thing. So what is this category of saw that we're talking about today?
Really, these are the 70cc saws. These are kind of an all-around tree saw. They can drop a big tree. They can buck a tree. They're lightweight enough that you could carry it all day long, but got the power to fully bury up to a 36-inch bar or a 28-inch bar on this Husqvarna.
Have you watched that show, Homestead Rescue, yet?
No.
These are the two saws they're using on that show.
Oh, yeah.
The whole episode. When they're like, they'll go fell like 100 trees around this homestead. That guy, Marty Rainey, he's grabbing one of these two saws. So that's just kind of an interesting fact. If you guys ever watch that show, I'm a huge fan. I'm on season 6. Don't spoil it. I love it.
It's funny that a lot of people actually own both brands.
Yeah, he does run both brands.
Like you love this saw, so you go buy that one, or vice versa?
Well, because both of these saws do have similar power, but they offer kind of different features and different lifestyle associated with each saw.
Or the reputation of both saws is such that you hear people say, you should have got this, so you go try it and you get the other one. So the Stihl MS 462, this is a 72cc rated at 5.9 horsepower.
Ooh, yeah.
The Husqvarna is a 70cc rated at 5.4 horsepower. This is actually, we did a little research, a model that's called the X-Torq, which sounds like it's a good thing, but it's actually a bad thing because this is a cleaner burning, more fuel efficient version of the predecessor 372 XP, and it lost a 1/10 of horsepower.
Anytime that emissions get involved, things get a little less good.
So there are people complaining about the X-Torq and wishing they could have the old one.
But you can't live in the past.
Yeah.
There's no store that sells everything old and good. You gotta get the new one, and what do you get when it's new? That's the question today.
Now, a common preference here between the two is on weight. The Stihl is 13.2 pounds, and the Husqvarna is 14.3 pounds. So it's over a pound lighter, and you can definitely feel it. That's the power head only.
Oh yeah. It's hard to tell at that angle, but I believe you.
Yeah.
Okay, specs-wise, more horsepower, lighter weight.
Yep.
Can they run the same bar length?
I think they could, technically, but Husqvarna rates this one from a 15 to a 28-inch bar, and Stihl rates this one from a 16 to a 36. Now, 36 would be too big on this saw. I wouldn't recommend anyone run more than a 32 on this saw. But today we have the Husqvarna in a 24 and the Stihl in a 25.
But if you're running a bigger bar, maybe you're not burying the bar. You're like using it in a standing position, trimming like we were talking about, or something like that. Like just because you have a really big bar doesn't mean you're necessarily putting that full load on it all the time. Or doesn't mean you're cutting hardwood. You could be cutting softwood, and maybe it's a little easier on it.
The Stihl has just gone up in price. It's $1,509. The Husqvarna is $1,464. So we're talking about $50 price difference. But Stihl has a saw called the MS 400, and it has the first ever magnesium piston.
Magnesium.
And that shaves more weight. It's 66.8 cc, but it has the same power as this saw. So it's worth putting in the conversation, even though it's below the 70 cc that we're talking about.
Wow. Same horsepower, 2 less cc.
The price of it is $11.59, so it's a lot less than either of these. Wow. And the weight of it is 12.8 pounds.
What?
So it's a very marketable, very sexy saw.
So if you're searching for 70 cc saws, you might miss that saw.
Yeah.
And that is a contender.
And it's rated at 16 through 25 inch bar, 14,000 RPM. So that's a cool saw.
That's a 14,000 RPMs too.
Now, to mention one from Husqvarna that we need to talk about is the more modern version of this. They're still making this classic, but the more modern version is called the 572 XP. And it's really the same size engine, 70.6. Don't let the numbers fool you. They're not CC related. It's rated at 5.8 horsepower, so it's almost 462 power. And the price is less than that.
Interesting.
It's $12.69.
Huh. Why would
So-
they do that?
Seems like a good deal. It's got some new styling.
Yeah.
It maxes out at 9,900 RPM, which is really low, but
Lower RPMs.
it's like hitting the torque curve there. It's rated at bar lengths from 15 to 32, and it's a little bit heavier. So the Husqvarna is going to lose on weight to all of the Stihl saws we're talking about.
So they mow heavy in every category.
And if we're going to talk about 70 cc saws, we might as well talk about the MS 500i. This is the first fuel-injected chainsaw from Stihl. It's 79.2 cc's. So it's right there, pinged out, about to roll into the 80s. It's 6.7 horsepower. So what? Huge horsepower jump.
Oh my gosh.
And it's 13.9 pounds. So it is lighter than the 372.
Wow.
Now that is a saw that a lot of people do run a 36-inch bar. I think 32 is perfect. And it's 13,700 is the red line on it.
And what does that one cost?
Now that one's a little spicy. It's 1,779.
So it's a jump in price. You're talking $300.
Very high performance, very peppy, extreme power to weight ratio.
But if you're using it every day and you want a saw that has enough power, and that is an option. But
Yeah.
We're not even going down that category. That's an incredible saw. We'll make a video dedicated to just that one. Actually, we have a video dedicated to that one.
We just don't want you guys to feel like we're ignoring saws in this range. We just want to talk about these two, dig in. So let's spec for spec do a little walk around on them. So one,
Okay, move. Want to start with the Husky, actually?
well, let's do them simultaneously.
Okay.
So both saws have a decompression valve. This relieves your cylinder pressure, makes it easier to crank. Both saws have side access chain tensioner.
I would like to investigate that more once we get into like design, because this one seems different.
Okay.
And kinda strange how you get into
We're
it.
going to be taking these apart completely if you stick with us through the end. So we're going to get deeper than this. Both of them have an aluminum wrap handle,
Yeah.
and it looks like it covers the same 3/4 wrap around the saw. Both of them have magnesium sprocket covers. Both of them have a chain catch system that seems durable.
Yeah, this one's plastic, that one's metal. Both removable, both replaceable.
Both of them have a oil adjuster
Yep.
below.
Right there. Anti-vibration, you have.
Anti-vibration system is similar.
This one's pretty stiff. I was playing with that one earlier. That one's a little softer. And I've noticed, that was a comment I read in some of the forums, was with really big bars, that one's a lot softer. And with big bars, this one's a little firmer. But I think that's a matter of preference, not necessarily, I don't know, actually helpful in any kind of way.
You guys in the know how important the AV system is. Without one,
Yeah.
you can only cut for 10 minutes.
Your
With
whole-
one, you can cut all day long. So big deal there.
Guys, and we're relying on your comments too. Like, I want this video to be like a forum of sorts where you guys can hash it out, and like maybe you own both of these and you can comment on which one you like more and each feature we talk about, because you guys are in the know.
What about rewind assembly? What is that made out of?
The rewind is plastic on this.
This is a magnesium rewind.
Do you have Elastostart?
So a heavier casing. This is an Elastostart. This is to save your hand in a snapback.
This is just a bare plastic handle with a knot. No kind of
What about
caps.
the caps? So Stihl has these flip caps that seal,
Just a standard cap. It's
They are-
captured.
tethered.
It is a very coarse thread, so it does twist with very few turns.
There's a little learning curve on these caps, and when they came out, they were hated, but they're pretty accepted now. And once you get to know your saw, you're quick at just a 90-degree and a snap in.
Just a simple little wishbone thing hanging in there. It does have a big,
Ooh, it is. I could see you over tightening that. That's hard to.
it's got a big juicy O-ring on it. I wonder,
So you got to put your flathead in there possibly at times to get that off, because it gets pretty tight.
if that O-ring gets swollen, do these things leak at all, or are these pretty leak-proof? Because the steel caps, for what they're good at and what they're bad at, like, eventually you replace them after every couple of years, because that O-ring gets a little swollen or whatever, and you replace it. But it's a very minor repair.
And if you had a bad experience, that was from like 15 years ago. They've been very solid for the
Yeah.
last 10 or more.
Yeah, they changed the composite. Bumper spikes.
Take a look at bumper spikes.
This bumper spike is attached behind your bar nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be curious once we take that off. Does that like fall off? Am I gonna lose that?
I don't know. It looks like it's additionally attached to the cover, so
Okay.
maybe it stays.
It seems like it's kind of in the way there of your chain adjuster. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know.
You know, Stihl has some dog kits to go double dog on both sides of this, but it only has a single dog here. But it is a more aggressive looking dog.
Them dogs bark.
But a lot of people want the double dog.
Double dog is nice.
So it's
And
nice.
so it comes factory with double dog. That is
Yep.
an option. You can get both sides on that. But on this one, it comes standard, which is a nice feature.
You know, I will criticize them for a bit of the fit and finish here. Like this raw aluminum and this small little screw here doesn't look as quality as this
painted.
painted and these screws.
And those are recessed and like tidy.
Yeah.
These like hang out.
But, you know, I will say this is an old school saw that's like hasn't been changed in a while. And this is a restylized 460, you know, update 1, update 2.
Okay, now we're getting into it. We're getting the hoods off these babies. We're looking at the air filtration. Something that I see in all the forums that people compliment the Husqvarna for is how simple it is to take the hood off. You don't need a tool. And how good the air filtration system is. So we're going to kind of look at those two things and compare them right now.
Okay.
So the top cover is toolless, and the cover is kind of made into two pieces. You have the top, and then you have, if you needed to service it, there's like a secondary top.
It's not the easiest latch.
I bite my fingernails, it hurts. It hurts me to take this thing off.
But yeah, it's quick.
It's quick.
And you can put your flathead
I
under
think
there
it is
and
made that you
pop it.
could use a flathead.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's probably how I'd realistically do it. Because at the end of the day, if you're running a chainsaw,
You're wearing gloves.
what are the chances you're going to have a tool on you? 100%.
Very high.
Because you're adjusting your chain. I think it's like you're going to have it nearby.
Yeah.
You're not checking your air filter every cut,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
You're going to do that at the truck or something. Anyway, here's air filter off. take the Stihl one off.
Okay, Stihl has 3 fasteners. They're pretty fancy. They just require a 90-degree twist. So to Chip's point, you have one of these in your pocket. 3 clicks later, your hood comes off.
Yeah.
And to kind of the detractors of this, once this is off, you have more hood space. You have more access to your cylinder for cleaning it out. You could do a carb replacement at this point without taking anything else off of here.
Sure.
But let's look at the air filter.
So the Husqvarna has a screw-on style, multiple turns. It's pleated. It is a similar material that you see on a lot of air filters in chainsaws. I don't know what you call that. It's like not kind of like a felt.
Yeah. Fleece.
Fleece, yeah. It has
Flocked.
a hard plastic hole here that sits inside its hole on the carburetor flange, on the intake flange.
So it does mean debris will build up inside of there. Whereas if it were over that, it wouldn't.
Yeah, potentially.
On the edges inside, and it could fall in when you remove it.
Sure. And there's no kind of rubber. It's hard plastic on hard plastic, which is interesting. So like you have 2 hard plastic surfaces. If there's a little gap, they're not going to kind of...
It's not a perfect tolerance going on there either,
There's
right?
kind of real seal other than just hard plastic.
But one thing about Husqvarna is they do tout their air injection system, which is a centrifuge that is ejecting the big particles.
Yeah.
And the people online have all agreed that it has a longer runtime on its air filter because it's only filtering that cleaner air from the inside of the cyclone, basically.
Yeah, most reviews say that the air filters they last longer, a little better on the Husky.
Yeah.
And another thing people mention is that they're easy to upgrade because of the simplicity of this design.
Okay.
So that's something I'd be curious if you guys agree with. I can see it's pretty simple as far as how that flange is. But it looks very similar as far as the type of filter.
So Stihl's screws off of there. It has a nice rubber O-ring made onto the filter, kind of like a oil seal.
Yeah, like on the bottom of a crank.
It has a little symbol here that is like a spigot, so it's telling you it's washable. It's a washable filter. What do you think would be easier to work on at this point?
I mean, at this point, the Stihl is very accessible. I do think with very few screws, I want to see what happens if I take this cover off.
I mean, when that cover came off, you have access to your spark plug.
Yeah.
So we're talking basic maintenance stuff is quick and easy on either saw, really.
Right. Yeah, I think, honestly, to me, they're the same as far as to this point. Now I have to take all this off with a tool to get further in, and I'm curious what happens once I do that.
It was on there.
I'm a little nervous.
You know, Stihl does have this below 40-degree cold port that you open up, which down here in Florida we never mess with at all.
Okay, so that is the additional cover to get further into the Husky, which
it looks pretty classic, you know? It looks like an old school 2-stroke, honestly.
Yeah.
Whereas the Stihl looks like alien technology.
Yeah, there's a lot of cast plastic pieces in there.
It looks like a Dragon engine on a SpaceX rocket ship almost.
Yeah.
You know, there's really some fancy pieces in here.
Yeah. It reminds me of something like Formula One versus like an old school go-kart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But, and
Which I don't have anything bad to say about.
No, I respect that. And I appreciate this. You know, this is like the next iteration. There's a reason this one is performing faster. And it's because they've stepped away from this model and have had gone into the high performance, right? But there is some simplicity to this that I can appreciate too. Looks super easy to work on. The choke rod on this thing is hilariously simple.
Yeah. Versus the Stihl.
Versus the Stihl, which I think I'm familiar with the Stihl. I can work on the Stihl, but there's definitely more to it. I like that the Stihl
user interface of the Stihl
is much better.
Is clean.
It's very clean. One single lever does everything. This, you have an on-off switch that looks pretty old and primitive.
Yeah.
I want to be able to show you guys this. Move your head there, brother. Ugh. I don't know if you guys can see at home. I'm trying to give you the best angle here. So the choke on this is pretty simple. And then the on-off switch is this big red switch. It's very stiff, but it's pretty simple.
As opposed to, I'll do the action.
You gotta flip this one around too.
If you were just a very armchair mechanic getting in here, you might be a little bit confused.
Might be a little intimidated, but it's not as hard as it looks. That's all I can say about it. But this one, I do think it is very simple, and I appreciate that about it. 100%.
A vaster swath of mankind could get in there and fix it.
Yeah. I mean, choke rod's broken. You order that blue thing.
Yeah.
Put it on there.
All right, let's take the sprocket cover off and let's take the rewind off.
Yeah.
You know what? I've always been very prejudiced towards small bar nuts. I don't know why.
Tiny little nuts.
It sounds so rude. But anytime I see little tiny bar nuts, I'm like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Look at that toy. Uh-oh.
So yeah, all the Stihl saws have gone captive on their bar nuts, which is great because
you can lose these babies.
Easy. They vibrate off. They roll into under a fern.
Yeah.
Forget about it. You ain't sawing no more that day. So that's a nice thing.
Is your chain tensioner incorporated into that?
No.
Okay, so the chain tensioner is actually built onto this cover here.
Okay. How do you feel about that? Be honest.
I don't like it.
I don't either.
I don't really like it. I think it's gonna be prone to, one, a lot of debris, and two, it just seems kind of cheap.
Well, you know what I don't like about it is, so when you're putting your barn chain on, right?
You like sitting it on that tab.
You sit it, yeah. On the Stihl, you can poke it onto that tab.
It creates a little tension already.
So look, when you go to put this back on, watch. You're gonna be fishing for that hole. And you can't go back any further this way. So the quickness to get this on and off is challenging. I mean, I am Stihl native, so of course I'm gonna be quicker at that than somebody who's Husqvarna native. But yeah, you gotta look down in the gap, you gotta have the bar pulled out just the right amount.
I think I can't do it sitting.
I mean, a lot of people bring Husqvarna saws to our shop to get them sharpened or get the chain replaced because that is so frustrating for some. Whereas on the Stihl, the adjuster, what we're talking about here, is on the chainsaw side. So when you go to put the bar and chain on, you stretch it out until your adjuster pops through that alignment hole, and then your cover just goes on very quick, much quicker.
Go.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's see how long it takes you.
I'm getting there. I gotta stand up and the camera won't get me. So. Gotta get my man strength on.
Honestly, I don't even want any hate from YouTubers on this, YouTube watchers on this.
You're wrong.
You're dead wrong.
Yes.
That's way harder than this.
Yeah, that's harder. But we're not done looking at this stuff behind the shroud. I got it on there finally.
Yeah.
You're right. You have to pull this while trying to put that on.
Yeah.
And that's a pain.
Yeah.
That's a total pain.
I've had to do that for a lot of grown men.
But it's what comes with the territory. It's $50 less.
Yeah.
You get that.
Yeah.
Inconvenience. Okay.
All right, what about inside the cover? You got these bumper spikes. They don't come off. It's just...
Okay, it's set on there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking this whole bar assembly off.
Okay.
Okay, aiming this at the
Ooh,
camera.
Shiny. I'm taking this off.
Rim sprocket.
Honestly, I just love the look when the bar and chain come off inside of these Pro Saws.
Yeah.
Where there's just like a lot of metal. The rim sprocket.
Should we pull the sprocket off and look behind there?
Yeah.
Holy macintoni. Wow. So that's their clutch design. That's interesting. I haven't seen inside of here before. You know, I'm a steel guy, so I'm seeing how Husqvarna does it. It's pretty interesting. These are their springs. I'm guessing these are what's opening up. That's what's making contact inside your clutch drum. There's little tabs here that mount it because it has to be in a correct position, correct alignment. The oiler is right behind all that. So that's pretty simple. Whew, you can get your finger stuck in there.
Same mechanics there, just Chip's a little more able than me.
Duns it, Mo.
Rim,
Rim,
similar.
very similar.
Oh, extremely
Will
similar.
that one go on there?
Yep, looky there. All right, don't mix that up.
They will swap. That's good to know.
What's driving the oiler?
The oiler is beneath all that. Did you have... Oh, let's check out the needle cage first. So this one has a metal carrier with smaller bearings, more of them. This one has a plastic carrier with larger bearings.
That looks nice.
Less of them, yeah.
Looks really nice.
Yeah, this does look nice. Okay, going into, you had a rim sprocket?
That would be a good one for experienced operators of both of these. Like, this clutch wears out or this rim sprocket wears out. Is there an advantage one way or the other there? I know they're both durable systems.
Yeah, I mean,
that
I
last a
very
long time.
rarely replace that on somebody's saw, but it is something. Could that go on there? No, this. It's a crankshaft size is slightly different. Okay, clutch. It has little coil springs. That's a clutch I'm familiar with. You can replace all those components. This is just a different design. You see how those springs are?
Yeah.
They're like almost like a spring you'd have in your, like a leaf spring.
Yeah.
You know? Kind of interesting. But big, meaty, looks like it has a lot of material.
I'm lining up this piece here to get
On
it
both of
on
these, the oiler is underneath the clutch. It's deep inside there. But both very easy to replace. Sprocket, clutch if necessary.
Oh, nuts.
Honestly, I'm impressed. I think it looks nice in there. I see the appeal.
All right, let's take the rewind side off just
Yeah,
for a look at some engineering.
we're there.
Hey, I wanted to give a big thanks to a friend of ours, a dealer friend of ours. He owns Reed's Mower. It's on Orange Blossom Trail in Orlando, Florida. He's got a great Husqvarna showroom. He's got a great repair shop. He works on everything.
He's the nicest, down-to-earth guy.
Totally. And anytime we want to do a video with Husqvarna product, he's like, yep, just come on over and pick it up.
He even knows we're biased.
Yeah.
And he still hooks us up.
He says, don't make me look stupid. And we say, yeah.
We won't.
We won't do that here.
Oh, crap.
All right, so we got our rewinds off. They both took 4 bolts. Once we got in there, though, they look dramatically different.
Totally different design, how to do it.
I mean, on the inside of the saw side, it's cool just to get a visual there. But then, yeah, the rewind design is totally different.
On the Husqvarna, they have pawls attached to the actual flywheel. They're metal pawls. Actually looks pretty robust. And
Yeah.
it's, you can call that rotor housing.
Yeah, I got no shade on
No
any of
shade
that.
on any of that. Looks pretty nice. And what about steel?
Steel, you have plastic paws that fling out into the
Inner
cup
cup.
on this flywheel here. And we know that is a reliable system. This is a magnesium alloy rewind housing, so some added durability there, whereas versus plastic on the Husqvarna.
And there's some wind directing shielding here versus yours is internal onto your rewind.
Look how much different that flywheel looks, just the
Flywheel
size of the
alone.
scoops.
Yeah.
You know, these are much bigger scoops, but there's more in there.
It's interesting. Something I was noticing is where, I don't know if you guys can see this, I'm trying to get you guys at angle. There's
Yeah,
a-
we mentioned earlier that Husqvarna brags on their air injection system, but we found that Stihl has the exact same system.
Yeah. And you can actually see it better on the steel, but it's the same thing as the Husqvarna has. Point it out to them.
So if you could picture your air is swirling around here, you know, bigger particles are going to fling to this outside wall and pass through the cooling gills of your cylinder head, whereas the intake air is being pulled from the inside here. So the bigger particles are going to be out here, and this is going to be the cleaner air on the inside track, and that passes into the air box.
And on the Husqvarna, it works the same exact way. It passes through here, bigger particles on the outside, and slightly more towards the inside is the clean air that's going towards your intake. But one thing I was noticing, Stu was noticing, was what happens with this air once it goes past this, because this air is what is used for cooling off your cylinder head, right? So as this air flows through here, it's coming up, this little shroud kind of locks it off into this little area.
It's basically shooting like a handheld blower, a stream of air directly up. So and then it has to take a 90-degree bend to pass through these cooling fins. Whereas you look at the design on the steel, it is like a direct slingshot shot through the engine. And the engine is manufactured at this like
Angle.
45-degree angle so that the air just flows right through.
Yeah, this trajectory, they aligned their fins with the trajectory of the air.
Yeah.
Rather than it having to make a turn, it's shooting directly across, which I just like, I never noticed that. That is a brilliant design. It looks like a turbo you would see in like a high-end car, right?
It looks very simple and cool in like an old steam engine way here. And it looks very highly engineered and cool over here.
Yeah, agreed.
So multiple times off camera, Chip kept saying, I can definitely see how this is easier to work on. To which I said, do you choose a cell phone based on what's easier to work on, or do you pick one that's more reliable?
Yeah, I definitely do not pick my cell phone depending on how easy it is to repair. I buy one that works well and has good service.
And even a car, you're going to pick one that,
Yeah. I'm not buying a car based on how easy it is to service anymore. I'm buying a car that's reliable and has great support in dealerships in my area.
and you know, both of these saws are known for their durability and reliability,
Yeah.
and they're known for their support systems. In our particular market, Stihl has the absolute best support system,
100%.
other than our friends Reed's Mower, who carries Husqvarna, and they're a great support system as well.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking between these two saws, like this is definitely the more thought out, better engineered design. And this one is a little simpler, But honestly, to get to this point, took the same amount of screws. Actually, there was one more screw I had to take off for the Husqvarna. And to even work on this, it's a lot of these plastic pieces and components come off as a group. And I'd say, though it might seem a little more intimidating because there's a little more flare, it's pretty much the same. This one's easy because you can see all the pieces very simply. But once you know how to identify these things, it is not that much more difficult to work on. And as far as reliability goes, they're very, very comparable.
Okay, we have one last thing to do. We have to weigh these.
Oh, yeah.
We have been weighing tools for many, many years now, and what we find is that
They all lie.
the weight in the catalog, the weight you find online is not what you find on our highly calibrated measuring device.
Yeah.
So we are measuring power head only. We're going to put it all back together except bar and chain. We're going to get a final weight on these.
Sounds good. Okay, so now we got them all back together. We're gonna weigh them. They talk about their weights online, but they don't always match.
And the weight is power head only, so we're leaving the bars and chains off of there. We've weighed a lot of products on this channel. We've never got one to weigh what the catalog says it weighs. From anyone, from Stihl, from Echo, from Husqvarna. So we'll not be surprised if this does not weigh 14.3 pounds. Let's see what we get.
It is empty of fuel.
What you get?
14.7. Yeah, that's a big miss.
Yeah, that's a good bit over.
I think something that they can do technically is take the air filter and spark plug out and weigh it like that. But
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if that would get them there. Maybe even the fuel filter. Those are all service items. They might not be considered.
That is not reality, because you're going to put a bar and chain, you're going to fill it with fuel and bar oil, and you're going to get over 20 pounds probably total weight.
That's going to get heavy. That's going to be a lot of curls.
And that's like a backpack blower, but held out here. Not that this one's going to be much better. Let's see how accurate Stihl was.
13.35.
So Stihl states that this is 13.2. We're actually getting 13.35. If we were to remove the air filter, spark plug, fuel filter, like we were suggesting, would need to be done to cut weight on the Husqvarna,
Yeah.
I think we'd be well below the
Yeah.
13.2 in the Stihl.
Yeah.
So this one's pretty close, 0.15 off.
Yeah, that seems more honest of a measure.
Yeah.
But man, why can't they get it right? I don't understand. But
don't know.
still, that one's still a respectable weight. It's only 0.15 off. That's a
Yeah.
lot better than.
So instead of it actually
Half a
being a pound 1.1 difference,
Yeah,
it's 1.4 difference.
that's a big difference.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Okay, we've weighed them. We've taken them apart. We've put them back together. We've looked at every single little piece.
Then we've also been online
Yeah.
for half a day each, watching every YouTube video we could find that involved them, using a lot of AI to compile some data and some notes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, what's your overall thought?
Yeah.
Close it down.
Closing it down, I think they're both great saws. Honestly, I kind of came into this thinking I wouldn't like the Husqvarna, and I actually do like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is simple. I think the things people say that are good about it is it's simple in design. It's easy to work on. It's just a reliable, like they've been making it this way forever.
But pound for pound, this is the better saw.
Yes.
It
Yes.
is lighter. It is stronger. It has more dealer support across the country.
And it has incredible reliability. This is an incredible saw that doesn't necessarily get the same credit that it should.
Yeah, it is a very reliable saw. And then we saw videos of speed in it and an outcut. I mean, it has more horsepower, so
Yeah.
that's what you would expect to see. But we even saw videos with it versus the newer version of this, the 572, and it still beats that saw too, and they're more pound for pound exactly the same
Yeah.
horsepower.
Yeah, this whole 70cc category, honestly, Stihl has an incredible 70cc lineup. The 400 beats both the 372 and the 572.
In one guy's YouTube video.
In one particular race with one type of wood.
But he was a Husqvarna fan, so we don't see any bias there.
Yeah, he was mad it got beat. But all three of those, the 400, the 462, and the 500, beat the two Husqvarna options in every test they did. And, you know, I do think Husqvarna has great features. And, you know, if you find a dealer like Reed's, they can have great support. I'm not saying they don't.
Yeah.
But as far as if I was going to be buying a saw today to be my daily driver, if I was logging, doing major tree work every day, day in and out, I love the thought and design and engineering that goes into this. Wait, that air filter, the air fan funnels over those gills. I mean, I'm just blown away. I like the way the chain adjust works better on the Stihl. I actually prefer that there's throttle rods instead of throttle cables. There's a lot of little things. And honestly, the serviceability, I thought it was easier to take this shroud off to service it than it was this one.
Yeah. And you know, I didn't even get into this because I don't know Husqvarna's lineup well enough to really touch on this, but Stihl has an R model of this saw with a full wrap handle. They also have it in a C M-Tronic model for the computer controlled element, just like the auto tune that's on the 572. There's a lot of variants. So, you know, if there was a feature that you wanted, you could get it.
Right. So if you had to buy one today, Stu, which one would you go with living in our area?
No surprises, obviously, the 462.
Yeah, me too. I think it's the better of the two options. But like I said before, if you live in Alaska, you plan on working on it, and you have a great Husqvarna dealer in your town, buy Husqvarna. This thing's cool.
It's a tank.
Yeah, it's an absolute tank. Guys, thanks for watching. Please, if you own both of these saws and you have an opinion on it, we want to see it in the description below.
You're the expert in that case.
Absolutely. We want to hear your opinion, and I value that opinion. I love reading your guys' comments. We read them every night. It means the world to us. And also, give this video a thumbs up or a like. It really helps the video go further, and your comments also help it go further, so I appreciate that. Thanks for watching. Take it easy, guys.